Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, as you can see from the title, we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Sean John. It is Sean John's Unforgivable. Here is the presentation and the bottle. This fragrance was released in the year of 2005, 2006-ish. The presentation I actually don't like. It comes with this plastic case that kind of comes with it. And when you take it out, it just sits in this thing and rests on it. It says Sean John on the front. This is plastic. There's not really nothing to it. But the bottle itself is a very simple bottle. It says Sean John on the front of it. Pops off. And on the back it says Unforgivable. Right? Very simple. Now, there are 4 parfumers who are actually credited with creating this fragrance. But I'm not actually going to go ahead and dive into that. This is a 2.5. There's also a 4.2 that was released for this. And upon release, this was actually considered pretty expensive, and if you look around, it's still fetching a pretty penny. The 4.2 is going to run you about $97, and the 2.5 is going to run you about $85. Now, all that is retail. If you look around, obviously, you can probably find a better deal than that, but expect to pay those prices when looking at this, right? So with that, let's go ahead and get into the notes. I'm just going to put this down because I don't want to keep carrying this around, but let's get into the notes of this fragrance. The notes consist of, at our top, we have birch leaf, green mandarin, tangerine, juniper, basil, bergamot, grapefruit, Sicilian lemon. For our mid, we have iris, lavender, and clary sage. And for our base, we have tonka bean, amber, Australian sandalwood, rum, and cashmere wood. Okay, well that's a mouthful. There's a ton of notes in this fragrance, and I can tell you right off the bat, there is one particular thing that affects me. If you've noticed in my channel, I don't really mix fragrances. I don't mix fragrances just because, personally, I've had interesting experiences where I've mixed a ton of fragrances and my nose has just been completely messed up for it for at least a couple hours. This fragrance almost doesn't come close, or it comes semi-close to achieving that same thing just because of the sheer amount of notes that are in this fragrance. So it kind of starts to take on a little bit of a weird tinge to me. But when you first spray this scent, you're going to get a scent that is very, I guess you could say, a little bit fresh. Now, I can't pinpoint the citrus type of smell. I'm going to say it's citrus. And I want to say watermelon, but there is no watermelon that's actually listed in it. And I'm guessing I'm getting a watermelon because of all of the conglomeration of citruses that are in there, whether it be mandarin, tangerine, juniper is not really a citrus, bergamot, grapefruit, Sicilian lemon. I mean, it's all just mashed in there, and you kind of get that type of a scent off the bat of it. But what really distinguishes this fragrance is once you start to get into the dried on of it, you get a rum note and a sandalwood note. So you can picture citrus laying on rum and sandalwood, and for that, it actually does pretty well. It's actually a pretty good smelling fragrance. The one thing that I will say about this fragrance, though, is it's often compared to a couple scents out there, and one scent in particular that it's compared to is Millésime Imperial by Creed. Millésime. I'm horrible at pronouncing it. That is the prime fragrance that this is compared to. For those of you who don't know, Millésime Imperial by Creed is a more high-end, expensive fragrance that will fetch a pretty penny. So it is compared to it, and I want to say it does have a resemblance to it, a slight resemblance. Like if you were to ask me, would this be able to replace Millésime Imperial? I would say no, but I would say it would come close to it. If you were to have this and Millésime Imperial in your collection, I would say there's probably only a need for one of them rather than two. So they are somewhat semi-similar close, but not exactly. The scent that this really does smell closer to, though, is Love and Luck. They both have this tinge to it that kind of comes off the same. Love and Luck is probably, at least to me, the closest thing that smells to this. They're very similar in scents. Right, definitely. But in either case, a couple other notes that you get out of this scent are the clary sage from the middle, and it kind of gives it this floral note that doesn't really come off as a floral. And the floral, I believe, that may be what's actually causing it to give it this kind of flat type of a smell that I'm getting from it. Again, it does have a boozy feel. That rum and that wood on the base of it is really what you're going to smell once you start going, I would say, past a little bit 3, 4 hours, that's when it really is going to come out. The citrus is going to fade away a little bit more, and you're going to be left with that rum, sandalwood, woody type of a combo coming from this fragrance. I don't really get much amber from this fragrance, but that's kind of what you get from it. Now, overall, I'm going to say that I am spoiled because of Millésime Imperial. I can't really smell this in a fair light just because I like MI so much better than I do like this fragrance, and I really believe that this fragrance is sort of copying off MI for that matter. So spray-wise, I go between 3 and 4 sprays. It's a light fragrance. You can get away with spraying a little bit more for the scent. You can wear it to many different, it's very versatile. You can wear it to many different places. So you can wear it to work, you can wear it to school, you can wear it going out. It'll be a little bit on the lighter side going out if you're going out to a club, but you can definitely wear it for a date fragrance. We can wear it casually. It'll do its job. It'll do its job for that. The one thing that does restrict it, though, I would say it's a little bit more of a warm weather type of a scent. Think of warm weather when you're looking at this scent. So spring and summer, keep it to there. I don't think it really does really well in the winter, and I would, advise against wearing it in the winter. As always, do whatever the hell you feel like it. That's just my personal opinion. Age-wise, any age group can wear this one. Whether you be a young person or you be an older person, you're perfectly suited to wearing this fragrance. And for performance-wise, performance is on this fragrance is really, I would say, it's pretty good. It does anywhere between 4 and 8 hours for longevity. It starts to dry down on my skin and get to the dry down phase about the 4-hour phase and lasts up to about 8 hours. So overall, I actually think this lasts more than Millésime Imperial does, and it lasts about the same as Love and Luck, or maybe a little bit longer than Love and Luck. Now, as far as projection goes, it projects pretty well. It doesn't leave a good scent trail. It leaves a so-so scent trail. So with all my fragrances, I take them out to Times Square, have 100 people smell them. Out of the 100 people that smelled this particular fragrance, there were 82 people who said they liked it. Of the people who liked it, they said it was fresh. They said it was sexy. They said that it was interesting. They said that it had a really chill vibe to it. There were 10 people who disliked it. Of the people who disliked it, said that it was musky, that it was boring. Those were the 2 main comments from it. And there were 8 people who thought it was neutral. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give it a rating of a 8 out of 10. It's a little bit high. I wanted to give it a 7 out of 10, but recognizing it for what it is, I do think that it is a good fragrance, especially for all things considering. If I'm to decide, if I were to lay this, Love and Luck, and Millésime Imperial side by side, I would advise, if money is not your object, I would easily advise getting Millésime Imperial. It is a way more in-depth fragrance, smells much better, much fresher, has more depth to it. It's just better. The only thing that it lacks is longevity to it. This, on the other hand, it has the longevity, it just doesn't smell as good. But price-wise, as you can see, price-wise, it's still a little bit up there. Try and find it for discount. If you can find it for discount, then this is definitely a little bit more worth it. And Love and Luck overall, I would say you're probably better off going with Love and Luck over this one. Just because it is a little bit lower on the price range than this one is, and you can definitely find it a lot cheaper. Okay, but this one, it smells great. It lasts a decent amount of time. It can be a bit generic. It does have a little bit of a generic type of feel to it. It smells a little bit like your average cologne, but at the same time, it's well worth its while, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? If you have any thoughts, let me know what your experiences are with Sean John Unforgivable. I haven't tried the multi-platinum, so I know some people will be asking about that. Sorry, haven't tried it. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this fragrance. I'm always curious to hear what everyone has to say about a particular scent that I go ahead and review. All right? Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.